So, after over a month of waiting, Steven Universe returned to continue its second season this week with the episode Nightmare Hospital. As the episode opens, Steven returns home Connie after another sword fighting lesson. It's pretty clear Connie has been lying to her parents about what she's actually been doing with Steven over the last little while. And when her mom, Dr. Mahesh Warren, confiscates Rose's sword, the kids have no choice but to follow her to work and get it back. Granted, they picked probably the worst time to do so, as the hospital has been dealing with some very otherworldly problems as of late. Now, Steven Universe is a show that has dipped its toes in the horror genre a few times in the past, but this was the first episode in my mind that truly and completely owned it. The hospital is dank and creepy, the music builds and creates this great ambiance. It also helps that this episode sees the return of the patchwork gem mutants Steven fought back in keeping it together, and they are somehow even more terrifying than last time. My hat goes off to all the great design work. There's also the whole fear of the unknown thing at play here as well, because we find out that this is actually Steven's first time in a hospital, and honestly, why not? What could human doctors even do for a half-human, half-alien hybrid like him? Probably very little. That is, if he even gets sick at all like the rest of us. Longtime fans of the series will of course not be shocked to know that Steven Universe takes a lot of cues from famous video games, and the whole deformed, multi-limbed monsters running around in hospital gowns just screams Silent Hill in the very best way possible. We also just so happen to hear the name Dr. West thrown around at least twice, so there's some Reanimator connections for all you kids out there. And in this shot right here, we can clearly see that Dragon Ball Z's Dr. Gero also just so happens to work at the hospital. Wow, what a happening place this is. But Nightmare Hospital was an episode that had way more going for it than just monsters and sword fights. As is par for the course for this show, the focus is always on people and characters. In this case, it was about Connie standing up to her overprotective mother and letting it be known that she has no intention of stopping her sword training or helping Steven for that matter. Now, in a show with weaker writing, the mom would just be difficult for no reason, but we can plainly see why Dr. Mahesh Warren would want to protect Connie from all the craziness of Beach City. But in the end, she knows that part of letting her daughter grow up is letting her go just a little bit. The final shot of Nightmare Hospital I also found to be incredibly poignant, as Steven looks at his mother's sword, no doubt imagining what kind of life he could have had if his mother survived. Would he be having fights with his mother the same way Connie does? I guess he'll never know, will he? Overall, I felt Nightmare Hospital was a great first episode back, one that balanced a horror tone and mother-daughter drama superbly. There are some hanging questions like what were the gem mutants doing so close to Beach City, and will this become a bigger issue down the line? This is also one of only a few episodes I can think of that are completely gemless. It's not a bad thing, just something I felt I should bring up. Overall, I give this one a very positive 9 out of 10.